Hi, everyone. I'm Pip from Seymour Digital Media. You're listening to Know How Marketing Lab podcast. This podcast brings together different experts in marketing from our Facebook group, Cyberpunk Geeks Marketing Mixer. Each week we get on here and we talk about something search marketing like Google Ads or SEO, social media marketing from Facebook to TikTok, or website marketing. If you're a marketer or aspiring marketer, a business owner or entrepreneur, this podcast is for you. We're going to share the best SEO, search, social, and website strategies. We share tips and hacks, Google Ads strategies, what's going on in the current market. Each week we discuss something exciting and awesome in marketing. We're here to talk about 2023 predictions. I'm so excited. So excited. I did do a little tiny bit of research on top of what we talked about, Rina. So I think we're going to have the best chitty chat today. I think it is probably one of the most fun things because it makes you look at what's really going on. Lots of different people saying lots of different things. Aura shared an article from Google, and that was pretty interesting. So we're going to get into that. If you're joining us for the first time or you're joining us on YouTube or Facebook business page, I'm Pip, Seymour Digital Media, and this is
Rina Little from Littleworks Indie Media.
And our powers combined, we get together, a bunch of us marketers, and we talk about something interesting in marketing over in a Facebook group. That's where we're live. We want to know your opinions on what you think is going to be happening this year coming up for marketing. I have a list of 13 plus things, and I don't know. I'm super excited. I actually listened to a video by Neil Patel. I'll share it about the predictions, which actually gave me a little bit of extra inspiration. Not gonna lie. So there are at least 13, and we'll go through them and talk about each one. Rina, so number one, and this is in no specific order.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So number one, influencer marketing will evolve into a common marketplace tactic. What do you think?
Absolutely. We already see it on TikTok. We see it growing on TikTok. We see it growing on Instagram, although I'm not on Instagram as much. But I do see that a lot of TikToks end up on Instagram, and influencers who refer to their stuff on TikTok say, find the full thing on Instagram. So that happens, or on YouTube. So absolutely, I think that's going to be a really big one.
Yeah. And I mean, we're doing things for clients now with shorts, and we're taking reels, putting them over to shorts. And that also feeds into something later down in our list about video shopping.
Yes.
And live video shopping.
I know. It's almost like the shopping channel has evolved.
It totally has. So here's a great Twitter will crash and burn.
It already is. I mean, honestly, did you see all the tweets that Elon's been pulling down about himself?
No.
Oh my goodness. So the free speech guy is like, just not only is he pulling down things that make him look poor, like, for example, he was brought up on, I forgot whose comedy show, maybe it's Chris Rock or somebody like that, but he was pulled up on stage and booed for 5 minutes. So somebody took a video of that, posted it up, a few people did actually, post it on Twitter, and he removed those and the accounts that posted them. So, I mean, talk about censorship. I mean, his whole censorship argument just completely falls apart, you know?
Yeah.
I heard some of us knew this from the beginning. It's just really convenient who you decide to take down and who you don't decide to take down, you know? Cray cray. Who says cray cray? Who's that? I would tend to agree.
That's awesome. Yeah, so Twitter is its own beast of morbid fun. To be honest, I'm not on there. I'm on TikTok. It seems I get carried away. Does that phrase not make you want to break into song? It totally does. Okay, so far we got Twitter and we got influencer marketing and how that's going to change, which led into video, live shopping. Top industry leaders will pay to get noticed. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's already happening. Isn't that what influencer marketing kind of already is? And Sort of. But I think, yeah, absolutely, we're going to move into more of that. It's just people are moving away from the straight up advertising, and it does get a little bit boring, quite frankly.
It's also weird though, on TikTok. I mean, especially beauty influencers. For some reason, I follow a couple. I'm not sure why. Never my thing before.
They
Um, but I find it interesting, and you never know if they're being paid to be like, I use
usually
Kylie Cosmetics or whatever, right?
they usually tell you. Most of the ethical influencers will tell you when it's sponsored and when it's not sponsored. And I actually think they have to tag the sponsor in the little caption. So usually you see that they've been tagged, and there's usually a hashtag sponsorship down there.
And I appreciate
But
that.
I don't know if there are rules about that, but I definitely know that if they're going to push that as an ad, so if the company who has sponsored them is going to push that as an ad, then it has to be declared properly.
Well, with the S&M teddy bear babies, the big kerfuffle. I don't know what brand it
Oh,
was.
I don't think I heard about that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So a fashion brand decided to dress teddy bears in S&M gear and have like they were teddy bear backpacks or something. I don't know. It went terribly awry, and the photographer ended up getting like death.
Oh, this is the what's it, the B brand. I forgot what they're
Yeah,
called. Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
did hear about that. Yeah, but that there was more. Yeah, the
But it
photographer
wasn't the
got,
photographer at all. Nothing. He had
yeah.
nothing to do with it.
A photographer is following the direction of the creative director in the company. Either it's the in the agency, the marketing agency, or like the creative agency, or it's the creative in-house creative person who's come up with that. Yeah, they're in trouble for that. I mean, there's more little things that are collapsing in on that story. There's also a woman who I forgot her name. She's actually one of the owners
Like
of
that we
that
haven't
big.
mentioned the names because
Sorry.
yay! I like that we
Yeah,
haven't mentioned the brands.
I know, I don't know these things. But yeah, she's actually like this has become a whole thing into the abuse that's been happening within the fashion industry and some of these really big brands. So the large company that owns a lot of the big high end fashion brands, they're the one of the granddaughters of the owner is suing a lot of them for sexual abuse now when she was a child.
Oh wow!
So it's totally imploded. Like it's gone into a completely different imploded or exploded. I'm not really sure. Maybe this is an explode rather than an implode.
Well, I think there are some industries that have really controlled the market
Yeah,
when it comes to advertising. So it's kind of being
yeah,
democratized, right? With
sort of. But
sort of
I don't like to use that word anymore in social media at all because
interesting.
it's not democratized. It's controlled, and it's I don't democratized. No, but that's a whole. We should have an entire conversation about
Good.
that.
But that's
Yeah.
it gets into the political realm of marketing, which marketing often, like with the Elon Musk thing, right? Like you
Well,
end up it does mix sometimes. We really try to stay specific on marketing and some of the funny aspects of,
well, if you're
other things.
trying,
Oh, go on.
yeah, if you're trying to sell lifestyle, then lifestyle that is going to hit like you can't really
You can
sell a lifestyle without hitting politics in some way.
and choosing,
Or
yeah, or
yeah,
yeah. So okay, so we got top industry leaders, and you know what? Back in the day, do you remember when in Canada, anyway, the Bay, who's almost failed several times and is like a iconic in Canada, they got their
colonizer.
CEO. They yeah, they got their CEO to do some ads in a time where that wasn't the norm, and
All right.
the common discussion was nobody wants to hear from the CEO. But
That's
now,
true, but that Waylon guy from Loblaws is the face of the company.
oh, I don't know that. I hate Loblaws. Can't
I
talk
know.
about honestly. There's a lot. There's a lot, but we'll move on because yeah. Okay, so AI
Oh yeah, this is
is
my favorite
and the
conversation.
future. I think it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah,
When
it's kind of almost like the beginning of what social media was, very exciting and nobody really knew and everything was sort of playing with things. And it reminds me of those quizzes that everyone took where we were just sort of jumping on the quiz, doing the quiz, and all of our data was going out the door without us really knowing it because who reads the privacy
Terms
things,
and conditions.
and
Yeah.
there's always data leaks anyways. It doesn't matter if you understand the privacy or not, you do it, your stuff goes out, your friends' stuff goes out to the world. And so AI kind of reminds, like, I haven't jumped on that just because I still remember the sting of the quizzes. And this is going to be problematic in so many ways because what they're doing is organizing data for facial recognition. That's one thing. I know that Facebook has been playing into that already. I don't know to what degree. I don't know how much more AI is going to be feeding into that.
It is take over, and so, but Google's already fighting against it, right?
Is it really?
Yeah. Well,
So
we got and now the US is poised to ban TikTok. That's also very interesting.
is it? They've been talking about that for years.
Yeah, but now there's there's been some documentation put forward, I think.
Oh, really?
Lots of ethical questions about AI and writing. Yes, I think.
Totally. Yes. Ownership,
Yeah,
intellectual property,
right.
like all of the what can you use, what can't you use? What about if they say something that's incorrect and who's liable for errors?
Right.
Who
Well,
checks it? You
it's
know,
funny how we get lost in our own industries, because I just said to you, yeah, Google's doing something about it. And you were like, oh, really? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess it's not like just common knowledge. So it's very
yeah,
interesting that, because I didn't know anything about what Facebook's doing about it, but I know there's a good content algorithm update that's been rolling out for a little while now. Maybe going to finish
yeah.
up at the end of this week.
And
There's been like 6 updates. But
there's actually a TikTok that summarizes all of the ethical issues with AI, and some of the points were things that hadn't even crossed my imagination. I wouldn't have thought about that. I'll put the link in the
oh,
chat
yeah.
below in the cyberpunk geek marketing mixer Facebook group if you want to go there to find the link, because it was like it's so there's so many things to it, there's so many levels to it, and everybody's just jumping on board so quickly. There was even a woman, I was watching her video, and she actually asked some interesting things to an AI chatbot on politics and emotions, and this chatbot actually told a little story that was it created such an emotional response from her, and I can see why, because it sort of said why it was sad that it couldn't actually be sad. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wish I could experience more human emotion. That's what the
Ooh.
wish was. Like the AI had a wish. Do you know what I mean? Like the AI had a wish.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like it's the future is upon us.
The
It's like
future,
it's hell.
it is upon us, with some, especially in the marketing industry, because that seems to be just such a driving force of interest. And so I mean, we're going to see a lot of AI stuff.
Yeah.
We use AI stuff, but we also will take the content and use it as a starter or adjust. Oh yes, Skynet, so funny. This is so true about Skynet. But Phelan read me something yesterday about our course, and I was like, who wrote that? And he was like, this AI system. And I was like, that sounded really good. I was like,
Yeah.
so that was interesting. I think there's, like with everything, I think we get all freaked out about AI taking away jobs, kind of thing. People won't be able,
Yeah.
but I think humans will be managing it. Like, you can't
Possibly,
just,
but
you need
possibly.
fact checking,
Possibly.
like,
But there's also like one guy in one of my chat rooms or my Slack chat things, he posted an AI that builds you a website. It's like, okay, I'm done. And
yeah.
I'm gonna go play with that this week, probably this weekend, if not this weekend, then over
Ooh,
the
I
holidays,
want to see
to
that.
see what it actually does. I want to see what the results are, what kind of code is in there, what kind of content ends up there. Like, is there any SEO happening? Like, where are the opportunities to streamline things? Where are the opportunities to still insert myself? Those are
Right.
the
if
things
we
I'm
if
looking
we
for.
harness it, we can utilize it in our businesses. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, to be honest, inside Google Ads, we use things like scripts and rules, which help us do our job. And honestly, part of the reason, and Google Sheets, and part of the reason is we can't find anybody exceptional
to do this
Yeah,
stuff, to do right. So we need these systems to help
that's
us
true.
manage. And if we are the harnessers of the software and use it to help us versus it taking over our stuff. I mean, I don't know how good is a website going to be if you can click a button and it gets created. Like there's a lot of creativity that goes into marketing, whether or not people think that or not. I think it's true, right? Like, you
I
know,
don't know. I had a conversation the other day with a filmmaker friend of mine who's like and a photographer. Well, she's a photographer and he's a filmmaker, and they're both deciding whether or not their professions are going to be viable in the future. You
yeah.
know? Yeah. So I mean, it's a lot to think about for sure.
So yeah, this is.
It's
I
a
mean,
little anxiety producing.
but
There are ethics to consider.
there are ethics, right?
Yeah.
There's, we know there's a lot of bad players in the marketplace, no matter what
Yes.
industry. So we and people with us kind of like to do the right things. To like, I heard about this concept yesterday from somebody about how you can open a nonprofit and then you can get the Google Ads grant and then you can get leads and then just give a percentage to your business. Now,
But it's
personally,
actually the Canadian not profit. It's hard to get that organized. You can't
oh,
just.
yeah, they weren't Canadian. Um,
That's what I was thinking right
right.
there.
But
Like,
that being said, I mean, you know what, we do some nonprofit things. I would do get the ads for the nonprofit.
yeah,
And there's when you do the right, not the right, when you try to practice, what you think is best practices to support everybody, and be kind, I think that you do better. Actually, when I shared the video with Neil Patel, that's one of the things he says about how he did well in his business, right?
right.
About being kind, being helpful, the internet rules of how to get ahead in
Yeah.
marketing. Be nice, be kind, be helpful, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
there's the
but
prediction. More of that.
Want to know more about SEO? We've got a class for that. Our mission is to educate students about the right tools, techniques, and strategies to grow their businesses using the most up to date search engine marketing optimization techniques and tools. Find out more at knowhowmarketinglab.com.
yeah,
It's like,
I like that idea, but I don't feel like a lot of people that have done well have done that. So
So
people are
people are
still
still
putting
putting
out
out
highly
highly
clickable,
clickable,
highly
highly
reactive
reactive
posts
posts
to
to
get
get
those
those
to
to
get
get
that
that
algorithm
algorithm
going.
going.
So I
So I
saw
saw
one
one
today.
today.
They're either something that's super inspiring and super fun, and people just go, yeah, they go, yeah, because LinkedIn puts those really fun little automatic reaction words that you can comment with. You don't actually have to think about what to say, you just choose one.
mm,
And if you've got the right post with the right group of people, you can really game that algorithm, which is great.
oh,
So
game
that's one
system.
thing.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. I'll
And
have
then there are some really great third-party apps that you can use to do things like send in mail. You can do, and you can scrape contacts, and there's just a lot of things that are starting to cater to LinkedIn, and they've changed their groups run really well. Their personal profiles run really well. I don't find the business pages are particularly great. The ads cost a lot. You can do retargeting ads on LinkedIn. You didn't used to be able to do that in the olden days. I think those retargeting ads could be quite useful for the right for the right business. So they seem to have moved a little bit away from being the place where you find jobs and post for job opportunities to actually doing business, which I think is a big shift.
it's interesting because so I have LinkedIn pages. I am in groups. I don't spend much time there. However, when LinkedIn came out, yes, I'm that old. I never had to look for a job again. I got headhunted. I was in marketing sales. So I have a very soft spot. I will tell you, like LinkedIn probably saved my life. Getting headhunted, right? Yeah. And so I do have a soft spot, but I think it's a good platform for business B2B, but who's on there? right? Like who's spending time on there? Is it the employees? Is it the CEO? Is it the CFO? Like
Everyone's spending time on there as far as I can see. Everyone. I follow CEOs, I follow business influencers, I follow regular people. And it's just really great because
business focused maybe a little more than like other platforms?
I would say it was business focused for a very long time, but now you get a lot of weird, I call them weirdo posts that I feel really don't belong on LinkedIn. But again, they're set up to be sort of not clickbaity, but to get a reaction from people so that they can get that algorithmic social proof. So if your post is going out to thousands of people and you're getting thousands of likes, then that somehow gives you some kind of social proof or clout over the next dude.
Don't we all look when we're in LinkedIn like at the like because they I think the LinkedIn has the cutest little symbols for like
Yeah, they do.
love,
I like
right?
the one with the
And so you
hand with
do
the
look at
heart.
those, you're like, what's going on? You
Yeah.
know? So okay,
Yeah,
what's
it's really
it gonna
cute.
be? It's gonna
I
be
like the applause. That's my favorite. It's
oh
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
very good, very good.
Yeah, 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 I like that. So I think okay, so I think that's gonna grow, and I mean, I can even feel myself wanting to go back over there, but I have a soft spot.
I mean, haven't we all noticed that our LinkedIn DMs are just packed? We're just getting way more.
I don't respond honestly, like
I don't
unless
either.
I've met you or we've made some
Yeah.
connection, then I'll be I'll
Oh,
be
really? Hey.
connected.
Yeah.
But I mean it, and there's a lot of I find there's a lot of junk, and then they're
There's
trying
a
to
lot of
sell me
junk.
stuff.
That's what I mean. Like, I think that, but it must be working. Otherwise, people wouldn't do that, right? So I
Well,
figure
is
it's
it working or are we
well.
just
I was
pretending
talking
it's
to
a
a
vanity metrics like I got like 55 new leads, blah
sometimes.
blah blah. You know?
Well, I don't know, but I did talk to a fellow who specializes in LinkedIn for his clients, and I'm looking at
Smart.
maybe perhaps getting some work done with him. And he was saying that it is just a numbers game that you put out enough and you get, I can't remember what he said the ratio was, but you put out enough that's fairly targeted, and then you get leads and sales from that. So we'll see how that goes. But again, he uses a couple of different methods. One is the inbox thing, and I find that really annoying
Hmm.
because I don't like the way they set up their questions. You know, I had somebody send me a question and I gave a very thorough answer because it was a person that I knew, only to find out later that it was I got like when
Automatic.
I gave the answer, I got a heart response and I'm like, that's weird. And it turns out it was her VA
Of course.
sending me the questions, and I'm like, I don't dig that. So I like LinkedIn when it's actually used for real personal touch networking, like as
This is
if you're
the thing
going
though,
in person.
so the things that aren't scalable, like you want to talk to the person, right?
Yeah,
So to make it scalable, I mean, one should never assume via email, text message, messenger message that you are actually talking to the person that you
that's
think
right.
you're
And I
talking to.
find that shady. I don't like that. I would prefer if somebody, like for example, when I DM'd the CEO of the Bank of Montreal, when I had a big complaint that I wanted to lay down.
Let me just
uh,
laugh at you there for a
I
second.
know, I know, but here's the thing. The guy who got back to me said, "Hey, I'm so and so's assistant."
Yeah,
That is appropriate. This kind of like, I mean, that's the thing about
that's
LinkedIn. You want it,
I like
right?
that.
That's right. So and there are ways of doing it so that actually, what I'm complaining about is
The
the
pretend.
way that it's done, not the methodology itself. I think that there's lots to be done. I think it can be scalable. I just think it's
It's
been
true.
done very poorly.
Because you can technically, I mean, sending enough messages, talking to enough people, you get some of the
Yeah.
same questions. And
Yeah.
if you have the bank of questions, it can be a cut and paste. And then
Yeah.
if your VA messages you anytime there's something
Yeah, to respond
to
to.
respond to, so
And
you
don't send a
technically
heart
are,
emoji,
yeah,
that's
right.
true. And then
Um,
the other thing that I was gonna say is, I mean, I think LinkedIn's amazing. Whenever I'm at a networking online thing, any kind of online networking, I am on LinkedIn on the other tab searching for the people that are in the room so that I can send them a message saying, "Hey, it was really great to meet you today."
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I can keep track of them because we're not getting business cards at those events anymore.
Thank goodness. Who
Yeah.
didn't have a stack you never used? You only cleaned your teeth with them. Come on now.
We've only
Okay,
got a
so
couple. So what else is on our list?
we got live and short video content, huge. right? Like I don't know about you all, but I find it just a fast, effective way to communicate information.
I did a little poll in our cyberpunk geek group, and everybody was into reading the articles and not watching videos, and I was stunned.
It's good to
What do you
both,
think of that?
so because people are different. I usually go to YouTube to watch videos. I want to read blog posts. I haven't had time. I have people I follow. I love their stuff. It sits open. How many people have a tab open with a blog article they want to read still, and it's been like 3 days?
I know. I have a whole bookmark section for read. It's called Read This that I never get back to.
Yeah,
But if
uh,
there's a video, then I can kind of play it while I'm doing something else.
right.
You know?
Yeah. So both is good. I mean, we do put this video live, Facebook video live on YouTube. On we use it as a podcast now. I think some people are doing blogging. It's interesting information. So I think Glenn is saying, yeah, me too. Connecting in real time on LinkedIn is good for networking. Yeah, I think we should connect over there. But
Totally.
I don't know about the Facebook groups. I don't know what Rena's talking about. Social media will become more of a customer facing tool. I think we've already seen that. I think people will be moving away from Twitter maybe. And
Man.
I thought that was good. So how many of us have messaged companies on different social networks? And what social network would you message a company on to get a response?
Yeah.
Where did
That's
you
it.
message the bank, dude?
Yeah, I did. On LinkedIn for sure.
Okay, so
Yeah.
LinkedIn. Okay, that
Yeah.
might be one.
Yeah. Now, I do go to LinkedIn a lot actually to find people to research to see who they're about, what their companies are, what else they've done in the past, what their affiliations are, because you can list out, you volunteer, your associations that you're a part of. Like you get a really good, complete view of a person without actually having to ask them any questions at all.
Right? Yes, it's true. So we're getting asked short form video on YouTube. Good idea or no? Yeah, I honestly, we're helping a business owner and we switched to repurposing their content and optimizing it. And actually, cute as they are, so I optimized a video for them, a long form actually. And so they copied what I did, but they missed a couple things. And so you could actually see the number difference between the
Oh,
optimized video and the unoptimized video, which it wasn't that much, but it was enough. That being
but
said, the short video is on YouTube has bumped increase in their website visits.
I found it was a bit of a slow burn when I started doing the YouTube shorts. And the one thing that you have to also remember is that when you do YouTube shorts, you can't embed that video onto your website. So then you're not able to do the SEO juju for your
Well, you can
website.
actually you still optimize the text. You can add an SRT file. You can do location,
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm
but
saying that
it's
you
not
can't.
going to the website. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the part. And that's the part that I was kind of disappointed because I was ready to write up some blog posts and have the little video go with it. And it's like, oh darn,
You could do a longer video with the chapters. Yeah, and I like the
Yeah.
shorts. I think they're good. I think they look good. How do you optimize for short videos? Interesting. Good question. And with that, we gotta go. No, we are out of time. But two things: we'll answer this, and we'll take the rest of our predictions to Friday's
All right.
happy hour.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you want to talk about it more on Friday
Like
with
that'll be
us,
so
4 o'clock.
exciting. Because we missed, these are the ones we quickly missed, and then Aura will answer your question. Cookieless future, voice search, inbound marketing is going to be a thing. We talked about AI, but there's VR and AR. Yes, it's all a lot, but so it's all virtual stuff, and that's going to grow. And then small businesses are going to get more savvy taking courses. How do you optimize for short videos? So if you were trying to rank on YouTube, right, that's the best strategy. But it does seem to help you on your website with new visitors. That's what we've seen with a couple people. Now you have a description in your video. You add the SRT file. You add the location, there's a little spot, you tick for the location, right? And maybe you add the most important end card.
Yeah.
If you can.
And I think that people should really try using a title, not generator, but I forgot what we call it. I've lost the word, but the checker, like a title checker, and it gives you some ideas of how to amp up your titles a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I use one all the time. It's like, yeah, totally. I put everything through because otherwise my titles are boring because I'm not a writer. You want to have that emotional connection. You want to provide that emotional connection right in the title to get that first, interest.
Yes, TubeBuddy. I love TubeBuddy. The other thing to do at the bottom of the video, you could make the chapters. I mean, they don't show up on a short, but just having link back information to all your digital assets, right? Or maybe to get your quiz or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, always link back to your site. That's just rule number one.
Always link back to your site. Yeah. And you know what? With live videos, technically, I think we'd see more juice if we went in and optimized them after. And that's all we got.
I do. I go in and optimize all mine after, but I still haven't seen that much on my YouTube. I got to have you look at it, Pip. I'm gonna go back and find that chapter on your course.
That being said, join us Friday for happy hour at 4 to 5 Pacific in the Facebook group. You got to be a member to join us. Rina is going to share her headline and title.
I will.
I will share the 2 things and Aura's article again in the comments in the Facebook group. And next week, we will see you next week for the last live of the year.
Oh, wow. Yay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
The conversation never stops in our Facebook group, Cyberpunk Geeks. Join us at facebook.com/groups/cyberpunk geeks to ask your questions, meet new friends, and learn even more about search, social, and websites.